Hey everyone, welcome back to AFTV and another live show with me and Turkish. It's been a long time since we've done one together, actually.
Yeah, it's been a little while.
It's good to be back. Thought we'd have a bit of fun today, doing something different. Because look, we can all sit here and discuss the latest news and whatever. And listen, we enjoy doing that. This is why we love our job. We're very privileged to have this platform to be able to discuss how we're feeling about what's going on. But I think sometimes as well, good to mix it up and look at what other people are saying and put it to the test a little bit. Because one of the things I keep seeing a lot of is, well, once the World Cup comes around, once the World Cup comes around, once, Arsenal's players have been away and more of the seasons come and their depth in the squad is really challenged, they're going to fall away. And I'm seeing a lot of people across all areas of the media as well, and not even necessarily in like a scathing way to Arsenal, but a lot of people are using the World Cup as this what then? What then? So what I thought we'd do is do some on-the-spot research rather than turning up like sometimes you all know I like to do, whether it be with Tactical Insight and I've got all my notes, whatever ready, is actually get the thoughts of the comment section, get your thoughts, do some research and look up some things that will give us an idea as to how it's going to come out and basically somewhat get nearer to the truth. I mean, are you worrying about the World Cup and Arsenal?
Nah, I'm actually looking at it as maybe a welcome break. You look at where we are in the league and we're going to go into the World Cup within the top four, regardless of what happens in the next 4 games. I think we'll go into the World Cup in the top 4 in a healthy, strong position, and it might give us a chance to take a step back. And it's not like we have an abundance of players going out there starting games. Majority of the squad will be rested. And I know we've left ourselves light in a couple of positions, but all these people talking about Arsenal will fall off after. Well, listen, we didn't even expect to be where we are going into the World Cup. So falling off when used in the context they're using it in, of course it sounds negative, it sounds bad, but the reality is I think we all know that depth-wise Manchester City have got, they've got a lot more than us. So we're just riding the wave. It's not about stressing too much about what the World Cup does to our season. We're enjoying it as it is, and I'm just going to enjoy the World Cup knowing that Arsenal have done their job in the first part of the season, and hopefully we move out of the World Cup into the next set of fixtures, second half of the season, and pick up where we left off.
Of course, it all depends on how it ends for Arsenal going into the World Cup. The thing is, our start's been so good that if we were to draw 2 and lose 2 of these last 4 games, which by the way would be a fairly unacceptable drop in form, but three away games out of 4, Arsenal would still be going into the World Cup in a very, very decent position in and around the teams. That's just how well we started this campaign. So it kind of like, no matter what, the question is fair to say, why couldn't Arsenal maintain their good form come January? So I think we've got a few things to kind of go through, and this is why we're going to be doing live notes here. How fun for you guys when we're doing notes live on a show. But I think it's to try and get to the bottom of all this. First and foremost, just have a little look at what Mikel Arteta was saying in the press conference. We've got it here. Mikel Arteta has played down fears that Alexander Zinchenko's calf injury is a long-term issue and believes he'll be back before the World Cup break in November. And as you can see here, I said here, highlights for you guys. No, they are not ruled out, but we will see tomorrow, and we will see tomorrow what we decide. So he's talking about Gabriel Martinelli, who as well didn't play. I think Charles Watt said it's because he was unwell. Originally thought that it was because he was injured. However, he also provided a positive update on Alexander when asked if he was worried about his current injury. Revealed, no, I don't think so. Obviously he had a current injury in his calf, and that's why he's been out for a period. Asked directly if he'd be back for the World Cup, Arteta said yes. Okay, cool. So we know that Zinchenko's problems aren't long term. Let's have a little look at Arsenal's squad. Big up production. This looks quite good on the screen. Fair play to them. They've done a good job there. Okay, so who we think we're going, who we think's going, Arsenal's squad, and then who we think's a starter. So Ramsdale's going.
Yeah, I assume so.
Ramsdale, Turner.
Yeah.
Hines not going, is he?
No.
Tierney, no. White, is he? Should we put him in? Should we put him in?
Put him in there, because with Reece James and Kyle Walker being out with injury now, we'll really see how far down the pecking order Ben White is.
I'm putting Gabriel in there, but I'm putting them in italics, White and Gabriel, because it's so hit and miss. Holding Cedric, no. Tomiyasu?
Yep.
Do you know what? I pay no attention to the World Cup groups and who's actually qualified. But I believe Japan have made it. Zinchenko, no. Partey, Saka,
Yep.
Odegaard, not
No.
Odegaard, not Smith Rowe. Vieira won't be in the first team squad, nor will Lokonga. El Neni,
Egypt, no, they didn't make it.
didn't make it. Xhaka,
Yep.
Jesus, Martinelli, I'm going to put in italics.
Italic, yeah.
And then that's it.
Yeah,
Cool. Okay.
that's it.
So that's who could be going from Arsenal. And then let's put in bold who we think starting for their nations. Because what does it take to win the World Cup? You've got to play about 7 games, is it?
Yeah, was it 3 group game? Yeah, 7 games.
Yeah, 3 group. Right. Okay. So who's starting? Turner, I believe, is a
Yeah,
starter.
Turner will start.
Tomiyasu,
Yep, he'll start.
Partey will start.
Yep, without a doubt.
Xhaka definitely will. Saka, I don't know.
I think he has. Well,
I mean, I think he should. Don't get me
put him
wrong.
in bold because I think he will.
Yeah.
But then, I can't account for Southgate's nonsense. So
Okay, let's put Saka in bold then. So,
men's player of the year.
yeah.
When he came on in their last friendly, who was against Germany? Was it Germany? Yeah.
He
He helped change the game.
Yeah, he was good.
Last year in the Euros, no one expected much of him. A couple of games in, he becomes an integral part of the first 11. So I'd assume Saka, and he's an even better player than he was back then.
Yeah.
He's in his most productive point of the season so far. Only 10 games in, but I'd assume you start him on the right. Who's his competition?
Foden, but you could play 10
You
or
can play
left.
Foden. Yeah, you can play
Yeah.
Foden elsewhere.
Yeah,
So
I
I'd
guess
say-
Grealish isn't exactly a definite starter on the Southgate. Sancho isn't making the squad. Rashford isn't playing anywhere near as well as Saka. So yeah, I think for sure. So
Yeah.
so what we've got basically is an Arsenal squad. By the way, this idea was inspired. I do want to make sure I give credit to Jessinho. Obviously does She Knows Arsenal stuff on Football Terrace as well. She was a great tweet. She basically said, when you actually look at how many starters and players Arsenal got going compared to others, why is this narrative only around Arsenal? It's like we're the only club whose players are going to the World Cup. So Turner, Tomiyasu, Partey, Saka, Xhaka.
The chat is saying we miss Saliba.
What do you think?
Will he start? That's the question. We know he's going to go based off of the last year or so. Will he start is a big question. Obviously, he started in the friendlies, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, that's what I'm trying to find
He started
out.
the last few games for them.
Who did they last play?
Who was it they last played? It was I can't even remember.
I've just typed France. Like that's going to help.
I can't even remember.
let's
It's
go.
hard to say. Like, obviously, you'd expect Varane
What is
to.
cherish.com? I'm looking for Tottenham's website. There we go. Anyway,
I think Saliba is still 50-50 on whether
what
he'll
is
start or
what is
not.
cherish.com? What is it doing here? Anyway, what's Tottenham's website called? There we go. Say that again.
Yeah, I don't know with Saliba.
Oh,
I think it's
TottenhamHotspur.com.
hard to say whether he's going to start or not. That's why I don't think putting him in bold yet. Even though a lot of the chat are saying Saliba will start. Varane will get injured again. Saliba will start, says Dre.
So who have they got? Kanate,
Yeah, Konate,
Varane.
Varane,
Didn't for a long time they had Kimpembe.
Kimpembe.
Yeah, I'm not going to put Saliba as a guaranteed starter. I feel like the
Kunde
one.
French? Kunde, is he French?
Yeah, I believe he is.
Yeah, so obviously he might be an option there.
Upper Meccano, people are saying, yeah, Kunde, Varane.
So it's hard to really say the two that go with. I'm 60-40 that Saliba will start, but it's not bang on nailed on 30 yet. So
Okay, so
similar to Saka, I guess you can put in bold as well because we're assuming he will.
when you look at this group of Arsenal players we've listed here, I see only 2 that I'm like, okay, maybe 3 with Xhaka, that I'm kind of stressed about the amount of game time they're going to have. That's Partey and Saka, and maybe Xhaka because he's been so important this season. But then, and with all due respect to these nations, and you're sort of trying to predict who might go far in the group, Switzerland might surprise us. They did well at the Euros, of course, and they've got some good players. You never discount anyone. I'm sure Japan and Ghana can go far, but you typically expect England and Saka to be the ones that you're thinking, yeah, they're probably definitely going to have a run. So really, especially with Arsenal now training in Dubai, you're kind of thinking the players will go off, maybe play 3-4 games, come back, even with England, it's definitely no guarantee they're going to play that much. And a lot of them, you know, what are we talking about? 3, 4. A lot of them will be with the group anyway. Will be with Arsenal.
Yeah.
And they'll be resumed by the others probably by, when do the World Cup group stages end? So that's the other thing.
I think it's over 2 weeks. So just the beginning of December, I think, if I'm not mistaken. When does the World Cup start? 18th of November, is it? Yeah, 18th.
I think so.
One game.
Why is
Qatar.
it going to be so hard? Oh, God, yeah.
I think over the first 2 weeks is when the group stages are complete. Maybe 2.5 weeks. So if you look at Ghana, Switzerland, Japan, for example.
Here we go. This is what I'm looking for. So the group stages, group stage 2 or 3. Okay, so by the sorry, no, I got hasty. By the 2nd of December, all group stage games are done. You get to the round of 16 for the 3rd of December. So that gives players about 3 weeks before they kick a ball again for their clubs.
Yeah, exactly. And when does the last round of 16 fixture come? When's the last one?
The last round of 16 is the 6th of December.
So you'd assume by the 6th of December, either Japan, Ghana, or Switzerland will have been knocked out by then. If we're going by what you're going to expect. So imagine December 6th, our next game is December the 26th. The team are local in terms of, you know, a training camp in Dubai. So I think there's a lot made of nothing, if I'm honest.
I mean, it does feel a little forced, doesn't it? Because it impacts so many teams. And we'll start looking at all the other squads. Let's start with the team.
Couple super chats we might as well.
Yeah, let's get all those. And while I get Man City's
in the house.
AFC
up. Max says, big up Turkish, my guy. I bang shorts on FIFA. Yes, I did, people. If you don't know, we play FIFA every Wednesday on Twitch. It gets streamed to YouTube as well. But yeah, it's fun to say the least. Personally, I don't think the World Cup will affect us as much as everyone thinks it will, especially if we make signings in January. And he also adds hashtag Big Six, hashtag Forever Arsenal Max. Love for the love as always, my brother. And Devin says the momentum is in our sails. The World Cup disrupts it massively. Well, let's get the next 4 fixtures out of the way, and then, you know, we can potentially talk about that. But at the same time, I get it, you know, for momentum you'd want to continue playing, but at the same time sometimes taking a step back, you know, and analysing the situation and going again is sometimes the best way forward. So,
but I just think you can find evidence on any side of this, right? Because last season we played so many games in such a short period of time that you could argue that squad needed more of a break, you know, with the amount of injuries accumulated and everything, or at least injuries to key players.
Yeah.
And so, you know, it's one of those that Arsenal had momentum in March and a lot of April, but then it just became a little too much. I think it's all about mentality, right? If these Arsenal players go out knowing that, you know, Arteta said to them, give me everything for October and a little bit of, you know, the first couple games in November, and then off you go, then they can come back fresh, ready to go again. For some of those players, the disappointment of the World Cup, whether things go wrong, you know, if say things were to go wrong for them, that might linger after a couple months. You know, they've got to wait till pre-season, they want to get into competitive action. But imagine Jesus goes, doesn't have a great World Cup with Brazil, which would be a shock, and then he kind of immediately, it's like, okay, but I've been sublime for Arsenal, so let me go back and kick things there, you know, kickstart things there, you know. I don't really understand why, if things weren't to go right for Brazil, he's going to come back super demotivated and depressed, and things aren't going to go right for him.
Yeah, a lot's made of that as well. It really is. That's just football, you know. You've got to have a certain level of mental toughness, because if you're proud of where you're from and, you know, you're proud to put on your international shirt, then not being selected, it can be a massive blow. But the reality is, it's not the be all and end all. No. You know, Arsenal's your club, so, you know, you just have to focus. I think same could have been said in the 90s, early 2000s. A lot of players didn't get selected that maybe should have been selected in various international teams. Yeah. It is what it is. It's just the culture of this day and age now. It's like, oh, he didn't make it, be nice, put an arm around him. It's sad. It's, are you going to be okay? Cry if you want to cry, you know, it's okay. Like, come on, you know, people just need to relax. If you don't make it, cool. But I don't expect it to have an effect on your performance for your club. Take a couple of days, head down, upset, keep it moving. Because I'm not hearing any of this soft, you know, emotional damage off the back of not being picked for your country. Come on.
Well, what I think is having a bigger impact on squads, that I think is going a little under the radar, is the amount of injuries that people are picking up right now ahead of World Cups, and the amount players are going to be trying so hard to avoid that the closer and closer we get to the World Cup. Now, that might be true of some of Arsenal's players, but we've not seen that. We're top of the league, 9 wins out of 10. These players are like they're giving their absolute all in every single game. And I honestly think there might be some players out there that have maybe got to 28, 29, 30. I tell you what, Drifty said it about Van Dijk. In fairness, Van Dijk was brilliant in the City game. But he was saying he looks like he's trying to keep himself fit come, the World Cup. I don't think he's played a major tournament yet for the Netherlands. So that might, if the World Cup's going to impact the season in some way, it might be that, because kind of more than ever, clubs aren't starting the way they want to start seasons because they've kind of got this in mind. But then maybe you could say the way seasons end would have an impact. So I don't know. It's a difficult one.
I guess for the biggest players, and listen, if that is the case for Van Dijk, he'd be wrong for doing that. But more understandable because he's been challenging for the major honours for the past 4, 5, 6 years. I think Arsenal are in a different place where it's young players, the future's ahead of them, their best days are yet to come. So if a couple get knocked back, listen, Odegaard's probably not happy Norway didn't make it. Do you think he's going to be happy chilling at home watching other teams that have made it and thinking, we've got me and Haaland and we didn't? Of course, it's going to be like, should have been there, but focus. Don't let it take over your emotions. And that's up to the players individually to manage that mental problem.
There is something to do. There is something in tournament hangovers. I mean, I saw most of the England players at the start of last season post Euros started horrendously. Apart from Saka, actually, most of them didn't look at it. I think I want to say Kane looked like he started to get didn't start great this season. I might be wrong on that. No, he had all the Tottenham drama. That was why. But then you had Jack Grealish didn't make a flying start at City. I think Phil Foden. I think there were a few that weren't really at their best last season when they returned after the Euro. So there is such thing as a tournament hangover. I just don't understand why it's kind of like there's so much narrative and discussion around, Arsenal's season will basically collapse, post. If anything, the way I'm looking at it as well is, if we have this positive a start, you're saying to Arteta, listen, don't worry, you don't have to play any games in December. Okay, it's exaggerated, you've got to play 1 or 2. We've got all this time now to address the players we want to bring in, get them into the club, get everything done so that they're ready for January 1st to walk through the door and give us a really strong January. I mean, there's no excuse for the recruitment department not to be doing what they've got to do in December because there's no other games to focus on.
100%, and that's another point that goes into the pro section.
That strengthens us as well.
It can give you a chance to take a step back, look at where you are in the league, look at what you need, and go ahead and do it. There's only 2 games before the January transfer window opens, and what's that, West Ham and Brighton. So I'm welcoming the World Cup, and I'm welcoming it more knowing that Arsenal have done well in the first, 14 games by the time it comes. Yes, a lot can be said for keeping up momentum, but I just like the fact that you would have been looking back at the first 14 games of the season. I'm sure Arteta will let them know, listen, far from done. We're not even halfway there yet. So keep your heads on, enjoy the break, enjoy your World Cup, enjoy the football, but back to business once it ends. And you're right, you make a good point. Everyone's talking about what happens mentally to these players if they don't get picked. But what happens mentally when they do get picked, and the headlines coming out of tournaments is all negative and on their back and more pressure. No one tends to talk about that, and it tends to be, for most major nations, including England being the best example. I've said this before, every tournament I've watched in my life, the players come out to criticism, negative headlines, pressure. Every single tournament that dates back all the way to 96 and so on moving forward. So I feel like, people can make a story out of players going to the World Cup and how it will affect our side. They can make a story out of how thin our side is and what the World Cup will do to us. But very few talk about what actually happens to some of these players, some of these young players like Saka, having gone to the World Cup or Euros, having a quality tournament, but the team not managing to get over the line and all of the criticism that individual players receive off the back of it. I prefer, and I've always preferred this, and this dates back to Walcott, when people was arguing, you took Walcott to the Euros or World Cup and you didn't start him. Like, that's outrageous. And I'm just there thinking, hold on, I like that. Because he doesn't get put in the limelight. He doesn't, he's not accused of being the reason behind another failure of a tournament and so on. So ever since then, I've just thought the less players that get picked, in my opinion, the better. Yeah,
I get what you're saying. Let's have a little look at other squads and try and understand what. Look, I've gone for the traditional Big Six, the 6 clubs represented on your show.
Yep.
just have a little look at sort of how many of their, of their potential squads are going, getting an understanding for how much football they could be worrying about or whatever. So Man City, Stefan will go, won't he? Because he'll be competing with Turner for that number 1 spot. I don't know if Stefan Ortega will go. Got no idea.
What, German? No way.
Edison.
Is he German, that keeper?
Yeah, I think so.
Nah, he's no chance for him.
Edison will go. Scott Carson, surely he's got one more tournament.
One more in him.
That would be extraordinary. Walker.
Out
of the World Cup.
Injured.
For the World Cup?
Yeah. Apparently so. Chat, can you confirm that for me? Yeah, I heard Kyle Walker's out for the World Cup.
I knew Reece James.
Yeah, I think Kyle Walker a couple of weeks before was announced as out for the World Cup. Not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure. Let me bring up the chat as well and confirm this. Let me know in the chat.
Let me read Stress Super Chat as well. Did you read this one?
No, I haven't.
Whole Premier League order will change. We'll see a rise in the bottom half teams if they don't have many stars in the World Cup. Because injuries, emotional exhaustion, tiredness. I mean, that's what a lot of people are arguing, in fairness. Freducia says, momentum interrupted, but another way to look at it is that it's better to get as much points buffer as we can for the World Cup to weather any future storm.
The chat's saying not out fully, but it looks like he will be out.
Okay.
So it's touch and go for Kyle Walker.
Wow. I'll tell you what, Ben White doesn't get in the
So maybe
squad.
put Walker with a question mark at best, because regardless whether he goes or that injury costs him, he's not going to...
We'll put, you know what? Italics.
Yeah.
Cool. Diaz going.
Yep.
Stones going. Let's have a little look. Ake going.
Mm-hmm.
Cancelo going.
Yep.
Laporte going. Gomez probably not. I'd be amazed. But Kanji will.
What is Gomez? Right back?
He plays left back.
Left back.
He might go.
Maybe. I've seen them pick Bellerin recently, for fuck's sake. I'm not saying there's a left back, but
You're the worst. Phillips. Well, he's had injuries, Calvin Phillips. But you'd think if he's free...
It's hard to say. He's had injuries. But then I guess centrally for England, who would be the options if he's not available, if he doesn't get selected?
Well, let's not put Gomez in there. Let's try go with like the worst case, which is that they got less players. So Phillips, will he be fit? I don't know. Guys, chat. We're doing this together. This is a team effort. Can someone find out if Calvin Phillips is going to be fit for the World Cup? Gundogan.
Yep.
I want to put Phillips in italics.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to take him out and I'll pop him here. Boom. Grealish will go.
Yep.
Rodri is going. For sure. De Bruyne. Just realising how many internationals they've got. Wow.
It's mad, isn't it?
Bernardo. Oh my God, they're good, aren't they? There's no way we're winning the league. I'm joking. Joking. Foden. Well, I low-key mean it.
As you do that, Dave Jordan's being cheeky. One day the Turkish players will find it hard after the World Cup. Oh, wait, never mind. Dave, unless you're 65, 70 years of age, yeah, Turkey have done better than England on the international stage. We finished 3rd in the World Cup. Yeah, I know England made the Euro final. You didn't get it over the line, yeah? So in my history, in my life, Turkey have achieved 3rd in the World Cup. England, didn't they lose to Belgium in that 3rd place playoff? 4th. You're getting there. You're getting there.
Julian Alvarez is another one who is going to go. Cool. Just had to do some on-the-spot research. So, that is the list of Man City players that could all be going. Now, who's starting? Edison or Allison? Who starts?
Allison, if I'm not mistaken.
I think that's right as well.
Yeah.
Diaz and Stones will start.
Mm-hmm. Assume so.
Ake will start, surely. Cancelo, Laporte. I mean, I'd imagine all these are going to start.
Yeah, Ake should start. Wait, does he? Yeah, he
does Ake start?
He'll start.
I really don't watch enough tournament football, like international. I watch tournaments. Gundogan will start. Grealish won't. Rodri surely. Although I know they still got Busquets.
Rodri has to.
You've got to think.
Yeah, you'd have to.
Bernardo Silva, De Bruyne.
Easy.
Foden will start.
Yeah.
Alvarez probably not. Okay, so just compare the list, people.
Already.
Like, we're not, it's not looking bad. All things considered. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 5 starters for Arsenal. City, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And by the way, Portugal, England, the Netherlands, Portugal, Spain, Switzerland, Germany, Spain.
They're going far, basically.
Belgium, Portugal, England. They could all go really far. So what, City might really struggle with it. City they've had a Walker with injury problems now. Towards the end of last season, they had a few injury issues. And by the way, this is a myth with City, that they've got some unbelievable depth and loads of players. What they've got is like world-class quality, ready to step in for world-class quality. But they don't have like 2 world-class players for every position. They've got about 15, 16 that will cover the 11 really well. Maybe 17.
First team squad.
Yeah.
Not the 25, the 16, 17.
So there you go. So that's City's. Let's take some comments. See what people are saying. Coin Toss says, I think Sergio Busquets starts over Rodri in recent times. I mean, might well be. We're talking about 2 world-class midfielders, but Rodri's been unbelievable. RMC, he says he can't see the list in full. Apologies. Well, I'll halve. I mean, it doesn't really make much difference. Is there any way I can make this a bit bigger? Oh, no, that did absolutely nothing. What about now? No, that did nothing. All right, sorry. I'm sort of on the fly here. Spain won't go far in the World Cup, says McGinn. I think people said that at the Euros, but it surprised people. Really hope Tite calls Martinelli. Will be hard for him, but it can happen, says Zappa. No, I hope our players go. I do. For them. Like, I think it's good for them. But, it's also, there's pros and cons either way.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it's like, it's guaranteed that one path is a lot better than the other one. What have we got? Turkey over England, says Saksham. Phillips is out for the World Cup. Thank you. Phillips is a possibility. No Phillips. And Eze is better than Phillips. Okay, fair enough. All right, well, we put Phillips in the unlikely section anyway. Stone's injured. Oh my, is everyone injured? Like, is no one playing at this World Cup? Okay.
I don't think Stones is out of it yet, though.
No, surely not.
No, I don't think so.
Rhys James is sort of fighting to make it as well. Let's have a little look at Chelsea's situation then. What am I? Every time I type these club names in, I don't know what websites they're taking me to, but these clubs need to get their domains in order. I'm typing Chelsea.com and it's coming up with who knows what. It's ChelseaFC.com. There we go. See, I rate Man United because when I typed ManUnited.com, it took me immediately to ManchesterUnited.com. They got their domains right, sorted. Here we go. Men's team. Where are the players? What a useless website. Really, Chelsea?
You're in the fixtures and results, though.
Yeah. Men's team. There we go. No? They don't want to...
Scroll up.
Look at this. This isn't user-friendly, people. Another reason to dislike Chelsea.
Development squad.
Okay. Chelsea first team squad. Don't you love live shows where we do kind of like research on the fly together? Isn't this fun, everyone? Okay.
There we are.
All right. Maybe we don't have to do all of them because it turns out it takes quite a while. But let's do Chelsea squad and figure out who's going from there. Right. Kepa. Is he going?
Aside from De Gea, I think so.
Why? I feel like there's an obvious one. They had the other goalkeeper, whose name I forgot. Who started at the Euros? Do you know what? The form Kepa's in, I say he's going.
Didn't De Gea start in the Euros?
No, Kepa isn't going, says Daly. Unai Simon. That
was it. Yeah.
They're saying David Raya and Sanchez both superior.
Okay.
All right. Well, forget it. Sorry, Kepa. Did my best. Who else here could be going? Is Thiago Silva still playing for Brazil?
Yeah.
Thiago
I
Silva.
think so. He is, isn't it?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, he is.
This is why we're doing this with the live comment section, so they can fill in for my lack of ball knowledge, as people say. Mendy. Is Senegal going? Do you know what? I need to get the World Cup teams.
Is Senegal in there?
Right, let's get the tables. There we go.
Off the top of my head, I can't remember.
Senegal are in it. They're in Group A.
It, yeah.
Cool. Mendy, there's another. Lol, he doesn't start for them right now, but that's okay. Point is, he's another one. Let's go to Chelsea. There we go, Chelsea. Cool. Chalobah, no. Chilwell will go. Chilwell will definitely
Oh
go.
yeah, the Senegal Egypt qualifiers. Yeah, I remember that actually.
Oh, okay, yeah. There we go. Cool. Reece James is out. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, he's not going to play at the World Cup, but he's got a long-term injury that now he's got to nurse. Like,
Yeah.
Cucurella, I would think so.
What about Aspilicueta?
Oh, is he again?
Doesn't he play for them?
Oh, I think he definitely used to. But is he going to go? Guys, is Aspilicueta
I don't know
going?
about Spanish team anymore. You know, I haven't really.
Everyone's rightly saying that I mentioned Koulibaly. Thank you. It's a team effort. Thank you. Well done. Good spot. Anyone else in there, guys?
Yeah, Aspi will go. They're saying Aspi will go.
Aspilicueta will go. Cool, brilliant. Aspilicueta will go. Nice. Cool. All right. What about Fofana?
No.
Don't think he'll go.
No.
2 appearances this season. He's had an injury.
Nah, he ain't going.
Cool. Jorginho? Yeah. Oh no, Italy didn't make it.
They're chilling.
I forgot. That one hurts. Useless. He missed the penalties as well.
Oh yeah, he did.
Fofana, says Dave Jordan. Very good. Very good. Kante, no, he's missing the World Cup through injury. Kovacic, surely. Did Croatia make it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did, surely. Okay. Loftus-Cheek, no. Mount, yes. Zakaria, yes. Has he kicked a ball for Chelsea? I don't think he has. No. 0 appearances, 0 minutes played. Hard to play a minute when you haven't made an appearance. Gallagher, I think is going to go, you know. He's starting to play more under Chelsea and Potter.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think he quite likes sort of energetic midfielders. Aubameyang, no.
I'd probably put Gallagher Talic just in case. But
All right, let's put Gallagher at Alex. You're right. Why am I making this so difficult for myself? Brilliant. And I've deleted 2 names for no reason. Cool. And I've spelt it wrong. This is going superbly. There we go. Pulisic. Okay. Sterling.
Yep. Without a doubt.
Brozier. I'm not.
Who did you play for? Albania?
Yeah, spot on.
Albania in there? I think they are in there. Nah, they might not be actually. Maybe I'm thinking the Nations League. No, they're probably not.
No Albania. Okay. That's not what I'm looking for. So who's left? Havertz will go.
Yeah, Havertz will definitely go.
Havertz.
Yeah, I think that's about
I
it.
think that's it. Ziyech, no. Cool. We missed anyone, guys? Cool. So starting is, everyone's saying we need the sticker book. We do. We need the World Cup sticker book. Okay, starters. Mendy. Thiago Silva, surely. Chilwell, I think, starts.
You think Chilwell starts?
I think Chilwell starts. Let's move the list up. Sorry, guys. I know you're struggling to see it.
But hasn't he been playing Trippier then?
Oh, Ziyech from Morocco. Sorry, guys.
Hasn't he's been playing Trippier then, or left back? And then last Euros it was Shaw.
Oh, I don't know. Chilwell's got to start. Nah, Shaw's starting, says MCA 808. I think Chilwell don't start, right. Okay, everyone agrees with you, he doesn't start. Cool, fair enough. Mendy, Thiago Silva. We don't know about Cucurella. Koulibaly, yes. Aspilicueta, we don't know. Kovacic, yes. Mount, I think, probably. Do you know what? I'll leave him not because it's not a guarantee.
Yeah, tough one.
And also, I don't think Zakaria actually starts week in. Is it Zakaria or Zakaria? Anyway, I don't think he starts week in, week out for Switzerland. Remember, the Euros been quite surprised because it was Xhaka and someone else in midfield.
It's hard to say. I think he is. I think he will. Actually, I don't know. If he hasn't played any games for Chelsea so far, then.
Pulisic, yes. Sterling, yes. Havertz, yes. Ziyech, yes. So, here's another list. Look at Arsenal's and look at Chelsea's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 potential starters. Senegal, Brazil, Croatia, USA, Germany, England.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not quite, Listen, you don't expect as many of those teams to go as far as City's, nor is it quite as long a list, but that's a long list.
It is. It's long enough. I mean, to counter the argument that we're the only team affected by this.
Yep. You know what? Let's do them.
For sure. Got a couple super chats while
you do that while I start writing down the list. If you take comments and super chats,
Cool.
I'll start writing down the list for the other teams.
Yes says, last game in the Premier League, Xhaka scores the winner. Jordan in commentary says, he who I won't name, I swear you'll never see anything like this again. Big up Jordan and the Forever Arsenal podcast. Lay off him a bit, people, man. I know he's enjoying it, but lay off him.
I nearly spat out my drink. He who won't be, he shall not be named.
Never see anything like this again. Stress in the building as well says, I want M11, Saka, Saliba tied down with new contracts before the World Cup. Worried they'll perform brilliantly and teams will bid huge money for them in January. Obviously, the World Cup tends to bring about a lot of gems, hidden gems, or tends to bring up players more into the spotlight. So 100%, I understand that worry. Hopefully we get it done. It'd be better for us.
I'm just trying to find. Oh, I delete. You know when you delete a tab.
What was it?
You delete. It was only the Man United squad, but so annoying. Manchester.
Off the top, you know De Gea's gonna go,
Is he?
isn't he?
Again, I don't know. Everyone's put forward 3 goalkeepers that I think are better than him right now.
Who's Simon?
Although I'm hoping for him to have the game of his life tonight. Who do you want winning that? United or Spurs?
Draw.
You want to draw?
Yeah.
But then there's just something so nice about Spurs losing.
Oh yeah, because they might get some extra life from their 2 away games against the big.
Went to the bridge,
2 of
didn't
the
lose.
3, yeah.
Went to Old Trafford, didn't lose.
Yeah.
You know, well, maybe. No, I need them to be losing these games.
Yeah, but fuck United as well.
Yeah, I hear that.
Pardon my language.
Sweden aren't there, are they? No.
Sweden didn't make it now.
No.
I thought Kulusevski might have been going.
So Lindelof. Oh, sorry, Lindelof's not going. Sorry, I'm being dumb. All right. Any more comments? Well, I just keep writing down. Harry Maguire's going to go. Martinez is going to go. Are the Ivory Coast there?
Ivory Coast? No.
No, they're not. Okay. No Ivory Coast. Phil Jones, last minute England call up. We've got a little bit of a problem in defence. Maybe Phil Jones could be the answer.
Maybe put him there. Italic. No, I'm joking.
Malacia will go, won't he, with the Netherlands? Do you know what? I'm going to put him in because I don't know. Guys, Malacia, is he going?
Doesn't Blind play left back for them, or I don't know, is he centre back?
You might be right.
But it doesn't mean he won't go.
And you're right. Bailey's on loan at Marseille. Yeah, but they've got him there in their squad. Varane, he'll go.
Yeah.
Maybe because he's one of his trusted people.
Malaysia starts, they're saying.
Malaysia starts.
Definitely going, yeah.
Thank you so much. Look at that teamwork. Shaw's going. Dallo. Well, no, because they've got Cancelo and they've got. I swear they've got someone else. Is Dallo going, people? Well, they've sent the list through. Dallo, Bruno, Ronaldo, Anthony.
Rashford.
Okay, right. Let's get Dallo in there. Right, we're getting you in there, Dallo.
100% they're saying with Dallo.
Okay, cool. Bruno Fernandes. I'll just put Fernandes. We all call him Bruno. Ericsson. Did Denmark made it, surely? Denmark.
Yeah, Denmark are in there. Yeah?
Yeah, there's Denmark with
Yeah.
Australia, France and Tunisia. So, yeah, Ericsson's going. Still can't help but think, like, what? Did you see that goal? His first goal back for Denmark.
No.
Oh, so, I mean, it must be a couple of months ago now, but what a strike. It's just after everything that happened at the Euros, it's just unbelievable story.
Comes back round.
Casemiro?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, but I say it because I'm like, there's Fabinho, there's Fred.
Fred might even go.
Who else? Ronaldo, Anthony. Yeah, and Anthony apparently is a bit of a favourite, isn't he?
Rashford.
Rashford will go.
Yeah.
But like, he's also been not included in the squad a few times. Sancho. Oh, Sancho's on the maybe list. I think there's a chance Sancho doesn't go.
I think it's looking highly unlikely for him, if I'm honest.
Yeah. Okay. So off this list, Maguire, I think, starting. Lisandro Martinez has been starting.
I think he does, yeah.
Malacia, Varane start.
Yeah, if fit, yeah.
Well, okay, Shaw and Chilwell, we're not sure on either of them. Dallo, I don't think Shawley's doesn't start over Cancelo.
Well, I don't know. The way the chat was saying 100% going, definitely scored a brace last time out. I'm thinking, well, they're saying Malaysia doesn't start. Casemiro 100% starts. Fred is a bench player. Anthony is a bench player.
Okay.
Regardless, let's include the starting 11 and the bench players as players that are going to get game time.
All right. All right, Bruno,
That's for sure.
Ericsson, Casemiro, Ronaldo. I think those are the guaranteed starters from there. Fred, Shaw, Dallo, Anthony. Some people saying bench. Okay. People saying Pellistri. Guys, excuse me. I'm not 100% sure where he's from. Let me check. Uruguay. Okay, fine. So.
Does this guy even play for United? The fuck cares about him starting?
Okay. Red Rain says, James TV, why are you always on? You don't want the content, sorry. All right, where are we? Who have we got left? Liverpool. And then we'll do Tottenham at the end. Flying through this at the moment. But I think the point, I think we've made our point, really, is what we're trying to say. Huh?
Already we have.
Yeah.
Without even needing to touch Liverpool, because you already know Liverpool's list is going to be longer than ours.
Yeah.
Tottenham would probably be a good one to touch on just to see. But even them, the list will be the same, if not more.
Yeah, you got Alisson. Guys, help us out. Yeah, Sweden never qualified.
Van Dijk. Trent, Van Dijk.
Van Dijk. Yeah, will Trent go?
Konate, yeah, especially Reece and Kyle Walker now are doubts.
Yeah, Alexander-Arnold. Konate.
Where's Matip from?
Cameroon.
They're not in it now.
No, Tsimikas, no. Okay.
Moved to midfield.
But hold on, are Cameroon definitely not in it? Why do I have a feeling they... Why do I have a feeling I saw... No. Yeah, Cameroon are in it, yeah, Group G.
Oh, they're in it, yeah?
Okay,
so,
yeah.
He is there then.
Cool. Matip.
And that's, 6 already, and we haven't even moved into midfield.
Yeah. I'm not going to get everyone in, guys. Let's just get most of them just to make the point. Thiago's going to go.
Henderson's going to go.
Henderson's going to go. Elliott's not. We've got Fabinho.
Nunez.
Firmino, maybe. Let's put Firmino in the...
Yeah.
Firmino will go, you think?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Oh, Matip's retired. Doesn't play international.
Oh, I remember actually hearing about that.
Okay.
There was some stuff around that, yeah.
Yeah, I remember. I was sat in... Yeah.
Diaz isn't fit. Jota isn't fit. Okay, Liverpool's the only club really. Nunez will go, but that list feels nearer
Who's
to...
not fit? Jota.
Jota's now gone injury, till after the World Cup. Can you believe that? They lost Diaz and Jota.
Yeah, that's mad.
But imagine losing Jota, Diaz and Mane. I know Mane they sold, but that's 3 players that were pretty key all at one point.
Yeah, what would you prefer? Would you prefer... Okay, let me ask you. Would you prefer Partey and Jesus to pick up an injury after the Wolves game, which is our last game, and they rules them out for the World Cup, but then they come back before the West Ham game? Or would you rather they stay fit, go into the World Cup and come out of it?
No, fit and go into the World
Cup. So you could even include the names of Diaz.
I get what you're saying. There's players that are impacted.
Reece James for Chelsea as well, and Kyle Walker for City. There's an argument to say them being injured doesn't necessarily help them any more than them going World Cup.
Colombia didn't qualify anyway. Fair enough. I'm still having nostalgia from the James Rodriguez days.
Chest and Molly.
You lit up the World Cup. So fair enough. Cool. Okay. Fabio Carvalho might make it. Right, okay, fair enough. And then Tottenham to end things off. You know what? Don't even want to spell their name properly. There you go. Not on my notes. And I've even deleted them. There we go. Alright, let's quickly look at their...
Lloris.
Straight in. Spooky Spurs Halloween tour. I'm alright. I'm all good.
Who's their backup keeper? Nah, he's not in it. Isn't it?
Alright.
I forgot his name.
So they go by numbers. They don't even give you the pleasure of positioning the players for you. Thank you. As always, useless. Right, Lloris.
Straight in. Romero. Yep.
Yeah, but we'll go
Okay,
through the
cool,
numbers
yeah.
and try and not miss anyone. Someone says Joe Hart. Yeah, James, you know, because we own your banter club, says Harry Kane. Listen, Harry Kane, just focus on your match tonight. What have we got? Højbjerg, yep. Højbjerg, cool. Let's move this list up so you can all see it. Cool. No. Sanchez, no. Heung-min Son, no. South Korea didn't make it, did they? Always best to check.
Yeah, double check.
No. South Korea, yeah, literally the last team there. Cool, Heung-min Son. Boom.
Good news.
Heung-min. Why am I spelling his whole name? I haven't spelled out anyone's full name. There we go. Let's go to... Cool. Richarlison is going to go.
You'd assume so.
Kane is going to go. Brian Hill, I don't think so. Is Emerson? Ooh. Does Emerson, guys, let us know, does Emerson get game time for Brazil?
If he did, I'm sure he's not going to get many more.
Sorry. Perisic, yeah, unless he's retired, but I mean, I don't think so. Everyone say no, yes, no game time at all. Yes, Emerson goes because they don't have any right backs. Emerson won't play over Danny Alves. Danny Alves still playing. Unbelievable. I think Dyer's going to go, you know. Eric Dyer.
Yeah, probably is.
We'll put him in italics, but I think he's going. But it's kind of, he hasn't been in many squads, and he was
That
in the last
Richarlison injury picked up. Did that put him out of the World Cup or just? Because I know he got injured last week, didn't he? Wasn't he a picture of him nearly crying afterwards?
Yeah, but okay.
Again, leave his name there because again, an injury means return from something. Whether it's a World Cup or return from injury, then yeah.
I'll put him here. Someone's slating my lack of World Cup knowledge. World Cup is bigger than the Premier League. Cesar, I work on an Arsenal YouTube channel. Sorry that my focus hasn't been. And also, by the way, Italy got knocked out. So from that moment, I stopped really. Not that I don't care. Do you know what it is with international tournaments? When it gets to them, I'm really hyped and I love it. But all the build-up and everything before, I just don't.
Unless my country's in it, I don't really give.
I do see a difference between international football and club football. I just do for me. Like, of course, you know, watching the same players, whatever. It's not like you can only play for one or the other, you know. But I just, my interest and my following of Premier League football, a couple other leagues, but of course mainly Premier League football kind of dominates a lot of my focus. When it comes to, honestly, when it comes to international breaks, I usually take the time to switch off myself. And pay more attention to Arsenal.
If Turkey and Ireland are doing well, I love it. If they're not doing well, then bring on the league again.
Right, cool. So Romero I've added to this list. Sessegnon I don't think's going. Kulusevski, Sweden didn't make it. Jed Spence, no. Tanganga, no. Lucas Moura. Guys, that's Lucas. People saying Ben Davis for Wales. Yeah, great spot. But we haven't got to his name. There he is. Lucas Moura. Everyone say no. Surely not. Not with all the talent. I actually think he's an alright player, but not with... Not with... I
don't see it.
Fair enough.
I don't see it.
Bentancur. Surely. Uruguay made it, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Well, yeah, but I don't know about their squad and whatnot and how much he plays, but I'd assume so.
Yeah, Uruguay with South Korea. So it could be Bentancur versus Son. I'd think Bentancur is going for sure. Davis. Longley. No, I'd be amazing.
No.
Basuma, no. Ivory Coast aren't there. Cool. So, okay, cool. So who's definitely starting? Lloris, Højbjerg, Son, Kane, Perisic. Let's assume he's going. Romero, Davis. You could argue they all start. You could definitely argue that they all start. Guys, are we missing any? Saying Basuma's from Mali. I've just got, it says here on the website, Ivory Coast. Anyway.
Can't even get that right.
Right, so okay. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 potential starters for Spurs. When you look at it all, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so call it 8 or 9 players for Arsenal, with 4 or 5 maybe starting. Oh, how many that is? 12, 13, 15?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's about 15, 16, 17.
Yeah.
There's loads of them. Same with Chelsea. In bold are the players we expect to start. Same with Man United. Liverpool didn't even go and put who's starting. Alisson, Van Dijk, Fabinho or Casemiro, Thiago Henderson. Okay, I guess Nunes probably starting. I don't know, but guys,
Thiago's got to start.
Yeah, but he didn't start for Spain. He played like Koke and a few
I
others.
think his injury problems are the reason behind that, but being his last big major tournament, I'd assume he's going to start. And on his day, Thiago is different class, so. But then Spain are different now, so I don't even know.
They're saying Richarlison injury is minor. Okay, fair enough. Guys, the point applies. What we're trying to say and what we've been trying to answer over the last 53 minutes of website searching and note-taking is...
Calm down.
This whole... The World Cup's going to hurt Arsenal. It's going to impact Arsenal. What are they going to do? How are they going to survive this horrendous World Cup where all their players are going to get massacred by injuries? And it's just like, hold on a sec. Even beyond the whole, how are they going to feel about it? Is it going to, buoy them up, for the rest of the season? Is it going to tire them out? Is it what? Arsenal have less players and almost certainly less starters at the World Cup than the rest of the big six, if you will. Less than the other teams around us, supposedly. It then invites an opportunity for a month of, or even more, 6-7 weeks of recruitment, potentially getting everything ready, looking back at what went well, taking a time of reflection and going again. I would argue that this young group, more than any group, needs to not have that constant momentum and constant pressure of one after the other, have a little bit of time to settle and appreciate how well things have gone, and then go again. Now, there's a lot of things that could go wrong. We might have a terrible last 4 games. But 2 things. A, then the break will be welcome. And B, we've actually had such an unbelievable start that we'll still have 9 wins out of 14. And even, 4 defeats would be awful. Then it's 9 wins and 5 defeats. But say it's 9 wins, 2 draws, 3 defeats. That bad. We'd talk about that on this channel and we'd do all the dissecting as to how it's gone so wrong. I'm not denying that. But our aspirations for the season would not be killed at all. We'd still be in a good position. So I just think this idea that kind of like the World Cup's just going to dismantle us and, we're top, but don't enjoy it for long because after that it's going to be awful. I don't really get where it comes from. It doesn't feel like a lot of thought's been put into it. But I do also appreciate some of the points that people are making.
Yeah, I mean, look, what's going to get more clicks online? Saying Arsenal might be surprised by the World Cup and come out the back end in poorer form, or saying Chelsea might be surprised by. Arsenal are that team that all of these pundits and ex-players and fans and Twitter land and all of these people love to mention because they are the club, we are the club that gets clicks. Hence why Jermaine Pennant recently mentioned us on there. I don't really know the context of it, whether he was asked or whether, regardless, if you're asked about it, it's so obvious that all of the big 6 clubs have to deal with the same issue. That what are you saying here? That you'd rather not go in first into the World Cup because of momentum? Or I just don't understand their argument behind it. All of us are facing the same problems, and if anything, we've got the youngest of the big 6.
Yeah.
So we should be in the best position, aside from Manchester City, to come out of the World Cup back end and be in a good place. And Peter mentioned there with the super chat, what happens to the players that are just sat at home? Let me say that. What about the impact on players sat at home for a month mid-season? Well, there's a camp.
That's a big one,
but there's a camp in Dubai. So
yeah.
I'd assume Arteta uses that time to drill them even further on what he wants from them, and he gives Arteta a chance to take those 14 games plus the Europa 6 and give them something to think about, give them things to work on. Look at what pre-season done for us and how we started this season. Why can't we have that again? Not necessarily pre-season, it's mid-season now, but why can't he work his magic that he worked in pre-season again midway through and put us in a better position? Best believe if we come out from the World Cup and Arsenal beat West Ham, beat Brighton, and we do the same thing we've done now, win 9 of 10 games, these same people like Pennant or opposition fans or TalkSport will be saying, the break helped them a lot. They, that relieved them of their pressure, and look at the injuries that will be the narrative after, because they're always trying to knock Arsenal. So I just let them talk. The less you click on these people out there, the less you guys click, the more they'll start talking about United or Tottenham, because they're the next in terms of people clicking. And I use Tottenham. but Man United for sure are next up. So just stop kicking these articles, stop replying to them, stop just being so mad about it all. Just let them say what they want to say, and if you don't pay attention to them, soon enough they'll stop talking about you. That's how I see it.
Do your job, Arsenal, and then eventually they can only have good things to say.
Liverpool, yeah, that's a good shout, DMYG.
Desaf says, just joined, don't know what's going on, but James is doing a terrible job at it. Big up Turkish though, hashtag James out. You know what, normally I take offence, but I had a...
No, you know what it is, obviously, we're live every single day, and James actually came up with this idea, and I think it's a good idea because it puts it all into perspective. You know, the context out of this is we all got to deal with the same shit. That's what I take from this, and I'm glad James has done it because I wanted to do it maybe closer to the World Cup, but we're doing it now, and, you know, it is what it is. Now, I think we're a lot better placed to knock back any of these fools mentioning injuries and World Cup could cost us. It could cost any of the big six. It can cost any of the teams in the Premier League. So let's just hope it doesn't cost us and just keep it moving. Forget the noise. Forget the noise. There's always noise around Arsenal, so forget the noise.
Dano says, thank you, by the way. Dana says, hashtag James out now. All love Turkish. The OG, big up. AFC Max, rightly very happy that Australia will be participating in the World Cup this year.
Carlos says, if anything, it will give Smith Rowe time to get back, which is definitely a positive. You know?
Absolutely. Yep, absolutely. Peter says, what about the impact on players at home for a month mid-season? I don't think you read that out. Carl says, if anything, yeah, you read that out as well. Lee says, big up AFTV. Historically, we have been 1 or 2 players away from challenging. This break could be the perfect season for us to recruit and not suffer the same seasons as before. Have a good one. I'll tell you what will really wind me up. No, just say it now and then leave it because, you know, we've got to give them time. Got to see what happens. But if we get to deadline day, and we're scrambling for players that we weren't linked to at all summer whose contracts are about to run out. And we basically, listen, I quite like Douglas Luiz, but basically we have another deadline day like that. I'll be really annoyed because you had all summer and then decided that certain players were out of your budget or weren't ready, fine. Then you got all of November, but half of December and half of November and half of December. Good 6-7 weeks to then, yeah, of course you've got to work with the team. Of course you've got to train. Of course you've got to get ready for what's to come. I hear all that, but you've got to do all that whilst using the opportunity of not travelling everywhere, not having a fixture piled up, to actually go and get the players ready. And I expect if Arsenal to make 2 signings this January, because I think we need 2 minimum, but let's say Arsenal to make 1 or 2, I expect them to be near completion by the early week or weeks of January. Because you want them in for that crunch time. You want them back for then. Really, it's kind of a shame that it's not football's not back for the new year. It's back on Boxing Day, because actually just those 2 games would be great as well. But I think if Arsenal to sign players, if we don't have anyone close by that second week of January, I'm not saying we won't do anything, but I'll be left with the impression that they're not really that bothered about doing much. And if the right opportunity comes up, they'll do it. But they're not particularly pressed on it, which would be disappointing in itself. Rizwan says, there's a lot of narratives about Arsenal this season, so take everything with a grain of salt. Fact is, we need to go game by game and recruit in January. Sumojit says, can't believe I'm saying this, but as a United fan, I'd rather Arsenal win the league. Don't care about the World Cup. You lot better win this. Well, fair enough. Thank you very much.
You've watched Liverpool and City clean up over the years, so I get you, my bro. If I watched Tottenham, I'd be in pain as well.
Oh yeah. I'd always rather United win the league over Spurs, personally. That's just me. I don't, hate them all, but...
Oh, yeah, no, I'm with you 100%. I'm with you 100%.
At least I'm used to them having won a few. At least there's a history and the 20. How many... What did Van Persie win them? Their 20th.
20th, yeah.
He asked for the number 20. So, it's just disgusting. Carlos, would you take Tielemans? Absolutely would take Tielemans. I think, as well as Xhaka's playing, and he's developed this dynamism and this box-to-box nature that I didn't know he had in him, I still think there's room for like a controller from deep. A player that gets the ball and, is able to control midfields, is able to just give us a little bit of composure. And actually now, for the first time ever, I see a midfield of Tielemans, Partey and Xhaka. If Xhaka's playing box to box and Tielemans is creating on the right and Partey sits, why not both? There's room for depth.
True. Rotation, that all works in what Arteta wants to do, so yeah.
Why not? Lee says, also not impressed with the haters saying we have no depth. Signing established defensive midfielder right wing would honestly cover us for every position with at least one quality player to step in. Let's go, gents. Yeah, I mean,
when I spoke to Mike the other day, box to box, he thinks that Gakpo's going to be available in January.
Wow.
And again, next summer, if no one does pick him up in January. And for 50 million or 40 million, which is the rough mark he said, and obviously Mike's just a PSV fan, big up Mike, check out Box to Box. I'd be very interested in a deal for that, because as much as we need, well, I say we need depth for Saka, Marquinhos is there. He's still very young, very raw. I think when you look at his Smith Rowe's injury problems over the last year, I wouldn't mind the Gakpo coming in on that side to challenge Martinelli a bit more and rotate a bit more and see what we can do. But there's definitely business to be done in January, and there's names that would all take when you look at who's running out of contracts. Let's do something and show a bit more ambition that midway through the season.
Well, I don't know a lot about Danilo. He's one they're saying after, I can't remember what the competition is. Basically, he's playing out in Brazil, and once that competition is done, which will be before January,
isn't he midfield?
He's a midfielder. Yeah, I think left-footed, kind of box to box, can sit as well. He's maybe one that we might look at, but I'm no expert on him at all. There's a couple comments. Dave Jordan says that controller is called Odegaard. Yeah, but I think Odegaard kind of works his magic in the final third and more up the pitch, whereas Tielemans, I think, can sit in the middle, and with every ball that sort of is cut out or they defend and it comes back to us, we win on the counter press. He's just able to then get it and play it again and kickstart attacks. That's why I think he's a very good player, Tielemans, but I appreciate he's not been quite as best. I don't know, he's been doing for Leicester this year, to be fair. The other thing I was going to say is on Gakpo. Obviously, we're going to get a good look at him tomorrow, but I did not realise how good his numbers were. Something like 13 goals and 11 assists in 18 games this season. Yeah. Unreal numbers.
Yeah, that is numbers. Yeah,
people, I tweeted it, and people were just talking about the league he's playing and stuff. Listen, those are very, very good numbers. So fair play to him. All right. Yeah. Not much more to tackle there, really. Other than just to say, we've tried to look at everyone else's situation, wonder why it's just us that they're talking about when it comes to this. I just think if you get points on the board, you're closer to that end goal. And we got more points on the board than anyone else right now. So why are we... I don't think we should be stressing. January, we can do some business. Let's just try to get through the next 4 Premier League games, PSV tomorrow, and Arsenal can go into the World Cup, putting their feet up, taking maybe a week or two off for going back to training and just going, wow, what a job we did in those first 2-3 months of the season. They'll have deserved it. They'll have absolutely deserved it. Turkish, thanks so much for joining. Any last words, anything now?
Just forget the noise, people. Let people talk. Forget responding to them. The less you respond, the more chance they have of talking about someone else, because you are right, Arsenal are the most talked about in terms of headlines by these pundits and fans and Twitter and so on. Just forget the noise, just enjoy it.
Yeah, there you go, enjoy it, guys. We're top of the league, we're 9 out of 10 in the league, we're 3 out of 3 in the Europa League, we're 4 points clear of City.
And if we finally reach a level where we are winning leagues again and we're challenging for Champions League and so on, then shit on them. For now, enjoy it. Let them talk. Let us, be focused on our way forward. And when the time's right, you can shit all over these people.
Diallo says, big up Turkish. Box to box with Mike was class. Diallo,
thank you, Diallo, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and always there as well in the comments, as is Dave Jordan. So many of you always there to sort of contribute to these discussions. This was very much about you guys being a part of it. The amount of players, I didn't even know if they were going or not or whatever.
No, I saw a few of the comments saying thanks for this, because it's a refreshing piece of content and angle. So
good. Glad you enjoyed it, and I agree with Fizzy as well. Man United, please slap Spurs. I know a draw would be alright, but just I enjoy days where Spurs lose. For what it's worth, I don't think they're going to lose, but would be nice. Top off, it's my birthday tomorrow, so I want you to give me that birthday present, United. All right, see you later.
Love.